This is conference 12, the third mountain. And what we have here today, our goal here today is to understand the final steps that we need to get to know the self-realization of the being. These steps that are going to take us to our goal. So to retake from the last two conferences, the first mountain and the second mountain. So in the first mountain, we see the work of the first mountain, which is the mountain of Genesis, the mountain of the rebirth through the waters. And here we start the work with 3%, 3% of consciousness and the 97% of trapped consciousness that has been taken over by our defects. And as we began the work with the three factors of the revolution of consciousness in the quaternary, which is the right thinking, the right acting, the right talking, and the right feeling, which are the four rights, this is going to allow us to the saving of our energy and in these initiations of light, and this energy, along with a stable partner of the opposite sex, is going to result the lighting of the sacred fire of the Kundalini along the spine, with super sex and the making of the regeneration of the bodies and the making of the solar bodies, the bodies of fire or bodies of solar bodies, where we are going to go from from rational animals to true men. So here, this is represented by the 5-pointed star, which represents the authentic man. So here is where the decision has been made between the two paths that open before the disciple, which is the path of nirvana and the path of the direct path. So if the direct path was chosen, then the work begins now, and the disciple has a human soul. The first mountain is finished with approximately 84% of consciousness awakened, and this is going to be so we can continue the work to the second mountain. In the work of the second mountain, this is a lot harder because the work is of psychological death is more intense. Here, they are the heaviest aggregates that we're going to have to eliminate and purify. So this is the work of purification and elimination. This is a mountain of the apocalypse, and that begins with the Christmas of the heart. It is a mountain of the birth of the intimate Christ in us, which is the fire of the fire, the flame of the flame. And it is that strength, it is that that revolutionary power that is going to do all the work of death of the casual eyes until there is no speck or shadow left of any defect. So here we have the opening of the 7 churches of wisdom, and this work is represented by the 5-pointed star, where the initiate is going to live internally the whole process of the cross, and here he is a resurrect and an immortal being with 99% of consciousness. So the remaining 1% of consciousness, it is the one that is going to be integrated in the work in the third mountain, the one that we have here today. The third mountain, this is a level of consciousness. The third mountain, it is the mystical death of 2 laws. This is to fuse in one single law. Here we are going to achieve the mystical death to fuse all of the parts of our being that are still divided. So this is the process that is called initiations of light, because the ego has been here completely eliminated and to 100%. So, but there's still a process left to self-realize here, which is to unite, to fuse with our being. This is why they're called initiations of light, because here where the parts missing of our being are going to be finally integrated, and we're going to go from being 2 parts to become one unity. So this is the mystical death. So this is also the mountain of sacrifice, the third factor represented by the third factor of the revolution of consciousness, which is the mountain of sacrifice for humanity. So here, here who reaches the total purification becomes a son of light and love. And because he is an universal and cosmic force, conscious at all times and insists with losing his individuality. So, okay. So, so here the work of suprasex is going to be without the physical partner. This this is going to be because here is where the couple ends, as to say, when death does them apart, because with the death of the ego in the second mountain, when it's finished, it is now a son of the light, an androgynous being. And here the suprasex is done with the Adonis or Buddhi, is with the divine soul, which is a part of the own being, and he can give it physical form. This is the twin soul that that everyone looks for in the outside and can never find, because we search in the outside and this is inside ourselves. So this work is not done with the physical partner anymore, and the bodies of light here are being created. So here is where the initiate can return to the bosom of the Father, full of absolute happiness and complete freedom. Here, here we also have where one reaches immortality, where one can keep one's vehicles without being subjected to the laws of time, because they are outside of time. And here also is where we have the, I don't know where in these slides. Jesus has his physical body with all the existential bodies of the being outside of time. So he has power over plastic, over matter, and he can preserve his bodies for he can preserve them young, and he's an immortal, full of absolute happiness and freedom, and he can preserve them because, like I said, they're not subjected to the laws of time. So he can change them at will and in any way he wishes. He has power of the plastic, and time, it has no effect over him. So his bodies will remain young. So this is he has a power of ubiquity. I'm sorry, uh, and not and he has died, resurrected, and this is why here we have the symbol of a sepulcher. Uh, Here we see the coffin, which represents the death of the initiate, what he has to go through as a symbol where the forces die and are born as a unity. To then go through the crucifixion, and then he puts on the great crown full of precious stones that symbolize the powers, the faculties, and the virtues of the Christ. And this is the symbol of a sepulcher, the symbol of when the two forces die to be born as a unit. And the coffin is the death the initiate has to go through, like I said, and then he puts on the crown of the King of Kings, full of precious stones. So here, this is not just an historical Christ that we all know. Most of us grew up with in some kind of religion scene. This is not only something that Master Jesus lived, crucified himself in the flesh as a representation of the cosmic drama in the physical world, but this is for anyone who reaches this level of consciousness, sorry, which is to have created their bodies of light. So this is a total culmination of the third mountain. Here it is where it has conquered Lucifer, the psychological trainer, and has unified all of his parts. All of his parts. So because this is already a master, he's already a master at this level, he has now the responsibility of finding a disciple. A disciple And sorry, I'm going to go back 2 minutes. Okay, this unifying it represents the Aztec symbol of the eagle swallowing the serpent. So this is to reach unity in total liberation. This is the symbol, the representation of the unifying our parts. And when we stop being mechanical, it stops being a mechanical law. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm sorry, I jumped. The master now has after everything, the master has now responsibility to 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 live the teachings of the world, and he has to assure that so that this knowledge is going to continue in the planet. And for this, there is the work of finding a disciple, somebody who's going to be in charge of the knowledge, a disciple who has chosen the direct path and that is working with the three factors of the revolution of consciousness. This is so when he is finished the third mountain, he can enter the absolute and stay there, definitely. So for this, the kind of task of finding this such disciple can be easier for some. They may already have somebody, but for others, this can take hundreds or even thousands of years, and it can be a very hard task to find such a disciple. So, so, but well, we see here how the monads come out unconscious, and by carrying out the work, it has to return with the 100% of consciousness to the absolute. So this is where they enjoy absolute joy and happiness. Okay, so um, to stay in this disciple, here we have the disciple, and as long as he does not leave a disciple, he cannot stay. Before that, he has to enter, go in and out of the absolute, cannot stay until he finds a disciple, and he will have to enter and leave. And this is only the one thing left, finding that the one disciple, the one thing, so he can stay permanently in the absolute. Okay, so the three mountains are represented as the first mountain. It is the quaternary, the physical body, the vital body, the astral body, and the mental body. The second mountain, which is the casual body, the Buddhic body, and the Atmic body. The third mountain, it is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And this is the okay. So not much more details are going to be given here, so we can discover them by ourselves. Ramps, the payments, and all of the hierarchies can give for the big sacrifices, and this is for the one who reaches total Christification and becomes a child of light and love. This is for his great sacrifices. And that was it. That was it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Carla. Thank you, thank you. Who else is here? Digo, ¿quién más entró? Digo, Jesús, gracias, Jesús. Alba, llegaste. Ilse, Jane, gracias, gracias. Bueno, que no se murieron del aburrimiento, entonces ya.